What's up, guys, and welcome back to CNA Films and Animation.
I'm Corey.
I'm Alan.
And today we are going to share our top 20 favorite films of 2013.
2013?
Yeah?
You told me 2012.
That's not good.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Now that I know what I'm doing.
Okay, you've got your list now?
Yes.
Okay.
2014, right? I'm kidding.
No, those are not the most anticipated movies. That's for another day.
Alright, that's next week.
But no, today we're sharing our top 20 2013 films, and as well as a couple of other things that we'll get to a little bit later.
Yes, these are the movies that we liked. Not necessarily everyone liked.
We didn't see everything that came out last year. Obviously, there's just a lot of them. Didn't get to see everyone. But these are the ones that we saw. These are the ones that we liked. So we're going to share with you our top 20. So here we go. You want to kick it off?
Number 20. Going with the animated films. For me, one I did not expect to actually like, Turbo.
Oh, okay.
What's your number 20?
Well, for me, my number 20 is kind of a surprise, actually. Number 20 for me was Jackass Presents Bad Grandpa. Now, I didn't expect to really like this. I thought it was going to be kind of stupid. However, I did find myself laughing to tears, laughing out loud at several moments. It did kind of falter, it was a little slow in parts, especially when it was trying to develop a story, but still, it had some funny moments. And that's all I could ask.
Cool.
What's your number 19?
Number 19. One from way back, Gangster Squad.
Okay.
I enjoyed the film. It was fun. It does get a little cheesy here and there, but what can you do?
Number 19 for me is the summer comedy that I didn't expect to like was This Is the End. Basically, all the actors in the film are portraying themselves, and the apocalypse happens. Hilarity ensues. I mean, I was pleasantly surprised with this film. So, number 19.
Number 18. This is one we watched. We thought it was going to be a bad action film. And we were surprised. My number 18 is Snitch.
Yes.
Stars The Rock, and is probably one of his more believable roles. So, on to you.
Yeah, no, I really like Snitch. That's a good choice. Number 18 is kind of a dramedy from the summer called The Way, Way Back. Starred all sorts of big name stars, including Steve Carell, Toni Collette, and Sam Rockwell. It's just kind of a very good coming-of-age dramedy, I guess. I really like the characters and a lot of the scenarios in it. So, number 18.
Okay, my number 17. Going back to animated. This is one that is going to be said that the story has been told many times, and that is pretty much true. My number 17 is Epic.
Okay.
I enjoyed the film. It talks a lot about balance. It's going to be compared to Fern Gully, but in Fern Gully, it's the main bad guy is man. In this one, it's not man. It's the balance between decay and rebirth.
Okay.
Slightly different. But it's going to get compared to Fern Gully no matter what it does. But that's my 17.
Well, my number 17 was an independent sci-fi film that I saw on Netflix and was completely blown away by. And that is Europa Report. This one was, like I said, an independent sci-fi film, and I mean, it was probably the most believable sci-fi film I've ever seen. Great intrigue. There was a lot of intriguing moments throughout the film, and I just really enjoyed it. So, my number 17.
Cool. Number 16. This is one we went watching. Another one we expected to be bad. We were pleasantly surprised. This film had to go through a name change because people thought it was too graphic, I guess, which I don't see why.
Mm-hmm.
My 16 is Jack the Giant Slayer.
Okay.
We went in expecting this movie to be bad, just horrible, and we actually enjoyed the time.
Mm-hmm.
It does, 30 minutes before it actually ends, there's this whole fake ending.
Yeah, it definitely extended its stay a little bit, but I mean, it was worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good film. A lot better than I thought. Number 16 for me is probably the only superhero on my list, or superhero movie, and that is The Wolverine. This was obviously another X-Men installment, focusing on Hugh Jackman as the Wolverine, and they did a great job with it. I really enjoyed it.
Number 15. Once again, animated guy going to the animated stuff. A film I absolutely did not want to see, didn't care for it. He was like, let's watch it. Drags me to watch this thing. And I was pleasantly surprised. And that was Escape from Planet Earth. Yeah, wanted to hate this film, could not, enjoyed it. My number 15.
Well, cool. Yeah, I enjoyed that film as well. Number 15 for me is a horror film that came out early in the year. That was Evil Dead. What can I say? It had a lot of practical effects. It had a really creepy vibe to it throughout. And, I mean, it was probably one of the most entertaining horror films I've seen in a while. So, Evil Dead.
Alright. 14. Sticking with the horror theme, I have another one I was dragged to. And this is a series I do not care for. I like horror, don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
This one is more of the possession genre. I don't do that. Mm-mm. Number 14, The Conjuring. Pleasantly surprised by the movie, still don't like the possession stories.
Yeah, I really like the possession. No.
He likes possession.
No, I really like The Conjuring. In fact, I think it might even make my list here coming up pretty soon. So,
Speaking of which, if you haven't seen our Conjuring video, it's pretty good.
yeah, I do recommend it.
We really enjoyed that one.
Number 14 for me is The Place Beyond the Pines. This one had kind of an interweaving story that really surprised me. Great acting throughout, and it was definitely very memorable. So that's my choice for number 14.
My number 13. You're probably going to say I put this too low in contest to me. And my number 13 is Pacific Rim.
Okay.
Really enjoyed this movie. It has its problems, but just giant robots fighting giant monsters. You can't get much better than that. Come on.
I'm actually surprised that's your number 13. And here's another surprise. My number 13 is The World's End. This was The World's End. Third installment in the Blood and Ice Cream trilogy. Really good, really entertaining, kind of sci-fi comedy from the guys that made Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. So yeah, what's your number 12?
Number 12. One you've already mentioned. The remake of The Evil Dead.
Okay.
Enjoyed the film. Has a nice twist ending that I didn't see fully coming.
Mm-hmm.
Did and didn't, I guess. This film kind of turns the whole series, which is neat.
Number 12 for me is, I think, the only animated film of this year, and that is Frozen. Frozen was my number 12. I really enjoyed it. A lot of great music, really interesting story, characters, and all around just very enjoyable. So, yeah. What's your number 11?
My number 11 is You're Next.
Oh, okay.
I really enjoyed it.
Okay, so number can't speak. Number 11 for me is the third installment of a series that has been very good. Before Midnight. I really enjoyed the characters. The writing was fantastic, and I mean the relationship between the two main characters is one that has been growing and is very believable. And I really enjoyed the chemistry between Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy, I think. Her name's right here. I forgot her name. But anyway, yeah, I really enjoyed Before Midnight, and that's my number 11.
Number 10. Once again, animated. This is a sequel. It has one of the best comic relief characters, and that is from Despicable Me 2.
Okay.
I'm talking about the chicken.
Love that chicken. Number 10 for me is Dallas Buyers Club. This one was with Matthew McConaughey and Jared Leto. Yeah, very well acted, very well done. Just a fantastic film overall. So get into more detail about it later with the Best Picture nominated reviews that we'll have. But yeah, number 10 is Dallas Buyers Club.
Cool. We're going into superhero genre.
Okay.
For my number 9, Thor: The Dark World. Number 9.
All right. Let's see. My number 9 is 12 Years a Slave. This one was one of those movies that very well done on all fronts. I mean, cinematography was beautiful. Steve McQueen did a great job directing the film, and the acting was just phenomenal all throughout. Just very emotionally powerful film. So that's my number 9.
Number 8. This is also a number, 42.
Oh, okay.
The Jackie Robinson story?
Uh-huh.
Didn't want to butcher that name. Yeah. Really enjoy this biopic. You get to see into what he had to go through to break color barrier in baseball.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, very good movie. My number 8 is Fruit Falls Station. This one was a independent film that really kind of took audiences by storm. It's based on a true story about Oscar, I forgot his last name, played by Michael B. Jordan, and you know, it's excellently acted from both Michael B. Jordan and even Octavia Spencer. And I mean, it was just a very powerful and emotional film. It's one that even made me cry, I will admit. So I mean, powerful film, definitely worth checking out. That's my number 8.
Number 7. Once again, animated. My number 7 is The Croods.
Okay.
Funny, neat, whole journey, very good animation.
Okay. My number 7 is Lone Survivor. The war film, kind of, not really. Well, it's more of a survival film, basically, about a group of Navy SEALs who go on this mission to take out a terrorist, and, you know, something goes wrong, and they are trying to survive. And as the title of the film suggests, only one does, and it's based on a true story. Very powerful film, and very well acted and executed all throughout. So that's my number 7.
Well, my number 6, you just heard it, Lone Survivor.
Okay. Anything else to add?
No, not really.
Okay. My number 6 is Saving Mr. Banks. This one was about the author of Mary Poppins going to Disney to negotiate plans for a film. However, she is dead set against, you know, animation or, you know, any other, you know, having music in it or anything. She wants a very serious film because it is a very personal film to her. Rather, not film, but personal story that she created. So fantastic acting all throughout. Tom Hanks does a great job, and Emma Thompson was absolutely robbed from her performance as I forgot the character's name, but she was absolutely fantastic. Loved the film. Now we're on to the nitty gritty. The top 5 films.
Yes. Number 5, Monsters University.
Okay. Yeah. I liked Monsters University. It was a good film. My number 5 is Gravity, the visual extravaganza of basically a couple of astronauts trying to survive outer space. Saw this in IMAX 3D when it first came out and was completely blown away by it. And it's one of those films that is definitely about the experience. The story may not be fully developed here and there. I mean, it's a developed story, but it's not like the most extravagant story out there. But it's, still a visually beautiful masterpiece in my opinion. So number 5.
All right, number 4. My number 4 is Frozen.
Okay.
Really enjoyed this animated film. It has a lot of elements that we've seen before that it twists slightly and make it a really good story.
Yeah. My number 4 is one that's already been mentioned by him, and that is The Conjuring. This is probably the creepiest film I've seen all year, and James Wan did a fantastic job as the director. Brought a lot of creepy elements to the story and made a very memorable film.
All right, number 3, one he's mentioned already, way back when. Mine is The Wolverine.
Okay.
For number 3. We're seeing a kind of a different side to Wolverine. We've seen all these other movies with him, and it's pretty much the same thing. It's just bam, 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 same thing.
Mm-hmm.
This one we see a different setting for him, a different way of mind. He's actually vulnerable. You actually have to care about him, So it's pretty good. That's my number 3.
Yeah, and one thing I really liked about it was that, he does lose his powers in a way, and, he really has to try and, survive while everything's trying to kill him. I mean,
Yes.
there was a really great intensity throughout the film, and I really enjoyed that about it. But yeah, my number 3 is Prisoners. This was with Hugh Jackman, who is also in The Wolverine, and Jake Gyllenhaal, who both do a fantastic job. It's about Hugh Jackman's daughter and a friend of his daughter are kidnapped, and he does everything he can to try and get them back. Very powerful, very moving, and very intense kind of thriller. So that's my number 3.
All right, number 2. Yet again, you've already mentioned this. The World's End.
Okay.
Really enjoyed this film. It has action, comedy, aliens,
Mm-hmm. Well,
everything.
Yep. Yep, I really enjoyed The World's End as well. Now for my number 2. My number 2 is an independent film that I took audiences by storm as well, and this was Short Term 12. This was kind of a quiet film, not a whole lot of big actors in it. Brie Larson was the biggest one. And I mean, it's just such a simple story, but it is so emotionally moving and powerful that it completely blew me away. Film follows Brie Larson. She runs a foster home, and she gets a new young girl who comes in, and it brings up a lot of emotional stuff with her, that this little girl's going through. And I mean, it's just such a powerful story that I absolutely loved. So yeah, before we get into our number 1, we have a few, we came up with a top 10 list of movies that weren't necessarily good, but weren't necessarily bad either.
These are the movies that you'll probably forget.
Mm-hmm. Or if you don't forget them, you'll at least just go, it's all right.
Yeah.
Or
as I like to call this list the meh.
Yeah. So today we're going to share with you our 10 through 6 of of our meh movies. So yeah, you want to kick it off?
My number 10, Oblivion.
Okay.
It has some interesting parts. The twist is okay, but the overall plot can be confusing at times. And then it just throws this ending. It's like, yeah, now it's a happy ending. Deal with it. Okay, whatever.
My number 10 meh movie of the year is Beautiful Creatures. This one, actually, I did enjoy, more so than I thought I would. You know, it had a bunch of witches and, you know, just kind of like the teen romance type thing, but it worked for me. Wasn't great, but it wasn't bad either. So, yeah.
My number 9 is Oz the Great and Powerful.
Okay.
I actually did enjoy the film for the most part, but I've not been a fan of the original Oz.
Okay.
But just from watching it, there's so many things that are so far different, and this is supposed to be a prequel to that, all that stuff. I think they kind of lost the mark of what they were aiming for.
Okay. My number 9 is going to be very controversial, especially with some of my friends. But my number 9 choice is Anchorman 2: The Legend Continues. Don't get me wrong, it does have some funny moments, but as an overall Anchorman sequel, I was disappointed by it. I don't think it was nearly as funny as the first film, not nearly as quotable, and I mean, you know, I did enjoy seeing it, but it was one of those that I would say, you know, is a little forgettable. So, sorry Jake, I know you love that movie. I just, sorry. But yeah, go on with your number 8.
Number 8. For me, another film I, for the most part, enjoyed, The Call.
Yeah, okay.
I thought this film had a neat idea. It followed through. It did things very well, and then the ending just kind of falls apart.
Yeah. I actually did see The Call. I did enjoy it. It's one of those movies that, you know, I was entertained by it more so than I probably should have been, but, you know, I liked it too much to actually call it meh for myself. So,
As I said, I liked it up until the end, and then the end is just falls all over itself.
If they had developed a better ending, I mean, it probably would have been on my best list or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did enjoy The Call. My number 8 is Warm Bodies. This one was kind of a zombie rom-com that took a lot of audiences by storm. I didn't hate it, but I didn't really like it either. I mean, it was just kind of in the middle of the road for me. But yeah.
Alright. Number 7. Possibly the worst book adaptation in the history of film.
Oh yeah? What's that?
World War Z.
Yeah. I concur with that. I didn't read all of the book, but from what I've read, I know it doesn't follow at all.
No, yeah, nothing. For a zombie movie, meh. The whole cure for zombies is to already be sick. What? And it turns, as the main character who in the book, you never really know anything about except he's a reporter. Let's make him into an action star. Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
No, it does not.
Yeah, World War Z I did like better than I thought I would, but no, it was a horrible book adaptation. So, yeah. My number 7 choice is going to be very, very controversial, especially with the same group of friends that were there for Anchorman 2. Yeah, The Heat. This one was one of those movies that, yes, there were some funny moments in it, but I just never got into it. And I mean, I didn't laugh nearly as much as everybody else, obviously. there was good chemistry between Melissa McCarthy and Sandra Bullock, but overall, it just didn't work for me.
Okay. For me, it was a little too long, not enough laughs.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not a fan of, I guess, that genre anyway. So yeah, number 6, and the last one for the meh we're going to do today. This is one that probably a lot of people is going, why is this not on the bad list? Why is this not number 1 on the bad list? I did enjoy my time, even though it was a very, very bad movie. And then number 6, The Lone Ranger. I did have fun with this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Never grew up with the original.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I said. If you're going in thinking it's a good representation, you're going to have a bad time. A lot of it doesn't make any sense. They don't portray it very well. The storytelling's off.
Mm-hmm.
But I did have a fun ride with it.
Okay. My number's... Still don't think it needs to be nominated for Best Makeup. That's just me.
Still nominated for an Oscar. Now just think if it wins. It shouldn't, but just think if it does.
I'll ban the Academy. Okay. My number 6 is one that a lot of people liked, but I was just very indifferent about, and that was Prince Avalanche. This one follows Paul Rudd and I don't even remember the other actor's name, but they're just a couple of road workers who are, kind of growing as individuals. You know, they have these conversations with each other, and it is a very real and very kind of sleeper hit, or not necessarily hit, but it's what am I trying to say?
No idea.
It does a very good job with, the character developments and everything, and the characters do grow, but I just never really cared for anything about the film. I know a lot of people like it. I was just very indifferent about it. So, yeah. Now on to the coveted number 1 favorite film of 2013.
Number 1. For me, that was another biopic. One we did a review on not very long ago. And my number 1 was Rush.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the film. If you want to see us talking more about that, check out the review.
Yeah. Rush was very good, and I did enjoy it. I think my I did really enjoy Rush. My number 1, however, is one that a lot of people have put as their number 1. I happen to agree with them. I think it is the most entertaining film of the year by far, and that is The Wolf of Wall Street. By far the funniest movie I've seen this year. It just completely blew me away with how far Martin Scorsese pushed everything, content-wise, I guess. Very crude film, but I laughed my ass off throughout. Very enjoyable film, and definitely well-deserved Oscar nominations throughout, and can't wait to see it again. So yeah, there's our top 20 list for 2013. Be sure to check out our top 20 least favorite movies of 2013. That video will be posted tomorrow. And we are excited to showcase a lot of the hate. I'm sure there'll be a lot of language and a lot of hatred towards the movies that we've mentioned. But yeah, excited to share with that, and also share our 5 through 1 for meh list. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you guys like this video, be sure to like, favorite, subscribe.
Be sure to check out other videos.
Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. If you have any movie suggestions or TV suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments. And as always, he's Alan.
He's Corey.
And we'll see you guys in the next one.
See you guys later.